Good morning, students. See, every parent is worried, anxious about the welfare of their children. Parents express their anxiety by advising them almost all the time. But here also, a father advises his son. His son is ready to enter to manhood. See, just imagine this poem is written by Carl August Sandburg. The poem title is A Father to His Son. A Father to His Son. So, father says something to his son. What was that? Let's see. See, here, this poem is a kind of vignette, of worldly wisdom given by father to his son. So, here, father advises to the son. So, his father has earned experience from the life, wishes that his son should lead a life where he could have enough energy and stamina to grapple with the hurdles that come in a pathway of life. So when we move into a new world, a new stage of a life, a manhood, a father is wholeheartedly gives advice how to face the new stage of life. And here a father's tension increases when he looks at the son standing at the threshold of manhood. So it is a time when nearly each and every father becomes protective and cautious. So in this stage, every parent will get their anxiety about after this poem is nearly for you two children. You now being as 12th students, you just enter to the new world. You are going to enter the society now. So far your school is a home. After home, you're going to enter the new world, that is a society, that is for college and competitive world, and the opportunity you are going to seek. So this, it's absolutely apt to you. Now I'll take you to the lines. Look at the lines here. A father sees his son nearing manhood. What shall he tell that son? Life is hard, be still, be a rock. And this might stand for him. This might stand him for the storm and serve him for a humdrum monotony. So, what is the first advice? Life is a hard. When you move into some kind of a bubble phases, soft phases, you have to work softly. When something come across you, something you come across in a difficult, hard stone, you have to bring your strength to break that hard, right? So here the father looking at his son. The son is nearly going to, actually he's standing threshold. Here threshold means going next, almost is going to get the stage of manhood. So here he gives, what shall he tell that son? The author Carl Sandburg says to us to advise. He asked ourselves, he asked our as a reader to advise him, to tell him, that boy. So what the first advice? Life is hard. He asked his son to be still, to iron. Iron means strength, strong, and be a rock. Be a rock means, and having a lot of energy, and in a rock in the sense to very tight and rough and tough. That means simply having a lot of strength and be a strong. And this strength, and this might stand him for the storm. When you face a struggle and storm in your life, when you get the hard times in your life, and this kind of strength will support you, that is serve him for a humdrum monotony. Humdrum monotony means boring routine, some kind of having sad and sorrowful times it comes for you, or some things you need for to tackle and you need to face some difficult times when you come across. So this strength, this kind of positive, optimistic, and be like a rock, it will always support in that time. So first advice, life is hard and be still. It means sometimes when your life when your life is going to, particularly in that moment, sometimes it become, you have to be still, you have to be strong, the first. Second, and guide him among sudden betrayals and tighten him for slack moments. So here next, Carl Sandburg asked us to advise him that some betrayal, some when you cheated by some other people, and he asked us to tell him that titanium means not losing hope for slack moments when even when some kind of emotional time, getting emotion into some kind of a familial issue or some other issues, when we just move slip, when you get to slip in that moment, we have to be very strong and tight in that. So this is a kind of advice. So first one is life is hard. Next, when you get a moment that you've been maybe a chance to get betrayed, cheated by others, that time we should not lose our hope. We have to be tighten ourselves. So life is a soft loam. Such a beautiful words. Life is a soft loam. Loam is a soil, rich soil, no fertile soil. I can. It's a fruitful land. So life is a soft loam. Be gentle, go easy. So first is a hard, second one is soft. So that means sometimes you face a hard time, sometimes you face a soft. So overall, the life is a richest, fertile. So and that moment we have to be very gentle and go easy. We have to move very very slowly and easy way. We don't want to get confused, and we don't want to get occupied in a troubled manner. We have to face it very easily, and this too might serve him. And this too means when facing, say, having dealing with the soft issues in a soft manner, this is also might help in some moment. Brutes have been gentled where lashes failed. Sometimes brutes means cruelty people. Sometimes they became soft, right? And that time lashes fail. Lashes means our eye in front of our eyes, sometimes they became behave like a gentle people, and we easily could believe people that is brutes have been gentle where lashes fall in front of our eyes. Some cruelty people, some rogues, they behave like a gentle way. So that time we have to be very cautious, and so if they behave like in a soft manner, we have to handle within a soft way. Next, the growth of a frail flowers in a bathtub has sometimes shattered and split a rock. So this is again beautiful. The growth of a frail flowers. Frail flowers means very soft, nice and feeble in a quality of flower. Sometimes blossom up in a way on the rock. Sometimes it split the rock, it break the rocks on the stone. Some flowers has blossom up on the rock. It means even the root, even the flower can break the rock. So that as we human and in a soft way, we can break any rough and tough time or any hard time. So here the growth, it means the development, the develop of some feeble soft thoughts. It may break some split. Those people have a rough and tough minded, we can change them. A tough will counts. What is a tough? Your hard work. Tough means a hard work, your strength will count one day. So does desire. So he asked his son to desire, he have to be hard work. And so does a rich soft wanting. In a way, rich people, so he's referring some rich people here. So that rich people want soft wanting. They don't want to do anything in a rough and tough way. Rich people, those people having lot of money, move in a soft way. So does a rich soft wanting. Without a rich wanting, nothing arrives. Without money, those people living without, they cannot get anything. If those have a lot of money, they get everything. So without rich wanting, nothing arrives. We don't want to have any desire if we don't have any money. Next, tell him, after he, see here, look at the next line. Tell him too much money has killed men and left them dead years before burial. What does it mean? So he first gave in a hidden tree, meaning that he asked to earn money, so that rich soft wanting. After that, again he asked us to advise his son that having a lot of money, the greediness, the greedy, some kind of having lot of lucrative jobs, this kind of getting lot of money in all the way, they kill the men. So he asked his son not to have a lot of interest on money. Tell him too much money has killed the people because of some desire undesirable thoughts, and also leave them dead before the burial. Next, the quest of lucre means the income, money. The quest of liquor beyond a few easy needs has twisted good enough men sometimes into dry thwarted worms. If you are getting money in a good way, it will useful for get a easy needs, and sometimes if even more the lot you want, if you get a lot and lot money by in a bad ways, in a bad incoming that you are getting, and it's sometimes into dry thwarted worm, you cannot sleep with solace, so that whatever it is, just stop it in a right way. Don't desire for too much money, it will leave, it leads to dead. If you're questing, if you're making a lot of money in a bad ways, you won't be sleep, he won't sleep in a solace. So that the next see the next line, tell him time as a stuff can be wasted. So here time is referred as a material. So you see, we have one proverb, as you sow as you reap, right? So if we wasted our time, wasted means he has spent, if we spend our time on something, we can get it back. So tell him time as a stuff can be wasted means he has spent on something on good. Tell him to be fool ever so often. What kind of father he is? He just asked his son to be a fool in a moment. Fool means here he is a great father, I agree. So we can he is a good father, so that he's asked his son to fool. Some great mature father, what, you have to be very intelligent, my son has to be very cautious, very neat gentleman, but here he asked him to be a fool at moment. So he also insists that there was no shame. So his son, he don't want to make some kind of a negative thought, pessimistic thought to being a fool, because after every time after he felt fool, he can learn something. See, tell him to be a fool ever so often means many times he asked to be a fool and to have no shame over having been a fool. So he asked the son not to get shame over having been a fool, yet learning what is left. So being a fool, he has to learn something out of every folly, negative foolishness, hoping to repeat none of the cheap follies. After he committed a wrong things, after again and again, if he done some kind of foolish things, he can learn that, oh, next time we should not repeat this. So this is what a positivism he hidden there. Simply fool means not to fool all the time, but we have to learn. After being a fool, he has to learn from their mistake. This is what he want, so that I'm telling he's a good father. Next, thus arriving at intimate understanding of a world numbering many fools. Tell him, thus arriving an intimate understanding of a world numbering many fools. Tell him to be alone often and get at himself, and above all tell himself no lies, but himself whatever the white lies and protective fronts. Again, it is a good line. So after being a fool, he asked us to get intimate understanding, intimate mean very close understanding of the world. See, thus arriving at intimate understanding, after being a fool only he get understanding of the world and about their many fools around us. Next, tell him to be alone. Sometimes we have to be quiet, and we have to get alone, and get ourselves, and above all tell himself no lies about himself. See, what is this here? If we are in a difficult time, if we are baffled, confused stage, we have to get ourselves all alone, solitude, and think about ourselves. First of all, we have to analyze ourselves. So that is what, above all tell him no lies about himself. No lies means here his father asked the reader asked us to not to lie about himself, not about to see. If you want to, we always want to open book, see this boy is behaving like this, then directly tell him you are wrong. So after then he can realize, maybe in a soft way, maybe in a transparent way, you can tell him. So this is a direct advice. We should not lie. See, in any case, we can tell whatever the white lies and protective forms. We can say sometimes white lies. White lies means is a lie that it is useful for us, and sometimes we cannot get the person hurt. If we are saying some lies, that should be for their welfare, so that the people cannot get hurt. So that is called white lie. If we want to say white lies for their welfare, we can say. That is the father gives advice to say. See, next, he may use against other people. Tell him solitude in creative if he is strong, and the final decisions are made in silent room. This is again a fabulous line. See, after saying is white lies, he may be, see, maybe our, we people sometimes use against other people. We may not know, but here tell him solitude is a creative. Solitude means being alone. Sometimes what he says, if he is strong, if he is strong enough, if he has a knowledge, intelligence enough, then finally he has to go in a room and sit, analyze himself, analyze his problem, analyze his life, and get the conclusions. So if we have a problem, we should not go for other people if we cannot. So that is why he says, if he is strong, if he have a knowledge, if he have a strength in himself, he can go and sit in a room, that is silent room, and he can make a final decision. If we cannot, if we are not apt to take our decision, then we can move. Next, tell him to be different from other people if it comes a natural and easy being different. So this is amazing qualities that he asked his son to be different from other people, so that it should be very natural and easy being a different. It is very easy. We always have some uniqueness. He says to be a uniqueness in brought up the character. And the next stanza here, let him have a lazy days seeking his deeper motives. What is his lazy days? Leisure time. Leisure time, what you want to say? See, next, as he said, we have to experience our lazy days. Lazy days here itself, to sit alone, and sometimes we don't have any work, or some our failure days. Simply, we have to experience our failure days. Have to seek into our his deeper motives. Let him seek deeper for where he is a born nature. Natural. We have to give him a moment, give him a time to analyze himself, why he was born, where he was born, which family he is from, why he was born, and he has to analyze what are the failures come after. Sit and think. If we are giving a time, if we are giving them time, they obviously think about themselves, right? So that is, let him have experience lazy days. Let him think deeper. Then he may understand Shakespeare after analyze himself, then where he was born natural. He may understand Shakespeare and the Wright brothers, Pasteur, Pavlov, Michael Faraday, and free imagination. And so after thinking, after analyzing all those people, who are they? They're absolutely legends. After faced difficult life in their time, they shined, actually they shone, right? And free imagination, bringing changes into a world resenting change. So here, free imagination, natural thoughts, free imagination. When we people started thinking, we obviously get our thoughts, and that thoughts bring the changes into a world resenting change, feel better way. He will be lonely enough to have time for the work he knows at his own, unless we give them time. unless we make them realize why he was where he was when he was, we cannot get success. So he will be lonely enough. If we are given enough time to think them, to have a time for the work, so he should be all alone and have to give the time for the work. And finally he knows his own qualities, his own talent, his own character of what he is. Here is the poetic lines. So, the overall in this poem, a father is always concerned towards the career and the settlement of his son, right? Every father do, every parents do. He wants his son to achieve whatever he could not. He means his father, what the father could not do in his lifetime, he wanted his son to achieve in his lifetime. So he tells his son about success and failures. He also tells, we can say in success mantra, behind this, he is aware of fact that life is steel, and he also motivates his son to be strong and gentle in life. Sometimes strong, sometimes gentle. Strong a hard time, gentle in emotion, happy and soft this time. And also he tells him that too much money killed men and it left them dead, before the actual death. We cannot, that is what I said, we cannot sleep with a solace. Here is the poem ends. I insist you students to copy down poetic appreciation in your classwork and the poem paragraph, one common poem summary. Okay, I'll send you the notes. You copy down in your classwork. You can also mark the poetic devices in the poem lines that I'll give you on the notes. Metaphor, simile, some kind of poetic devices is here. I'll give it to you. It will be useful while referring for the poetic appreciation. Copy down. Only poetic appreciation paragraph you have to copy down in your classwork, ma. Thank you. Study well.